Hi everyone, it's Mary Catherine, the designer at CrochetChic.com. Today this video is being brought to you by our friends at allfreecrochet.com. I'm going to start by showing you what the Knook is. This is a Knook. It's basically, it looks like a crochet hook on one end, but on the other end it has a circle and it's pointed. It also has a string attached to it. And this thing is a great way to learn how to knit. If you're a crocheter, it's a really easy crossover. A lot of crocheters have a hard time understanding and switching, and this product I think is really awesome to kind of like as a great step way into knitting. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm using a size J Knook. You can use any size you want, and I'm also using a 4-ply yarn. You can use just about any yarn. However, yarns that are wool and wool blends tend to look nicer in knit stitches, so that's just something that I found very useful. Start by making a slip knot. And what you do is you chain to start. Okay, so we got a chain. I'm just going to do a tiny little swatch to show you guys what to do. We're going to start with what I found it's a lot easier if you call it a back stitch. And this is how we're going to make our first row of a knit stitch. But if you think back, it's going to be a lot easier. And what I mean by back is you keep the strand that's connected to your yarn ball behind you. What you're going to do is you're going to go into this loop, just like if you're doing Tunisian, and you're going to pull through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook now. Go through, pull through, go through, pull through. Try to get it at all sorts of angles for you. Go through, pull through. I'm just going through the top loop of my chain. I'm not going through 2, but just 1. Pull through. All right, now we're at the end. This is what it looks like. This is what the back looks like. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide it off my hook onto this nylon cord that's attached, and then I'm going to turn it. Now I'm on the back side. As some of you may know and some of you might not know, with knitting you have to do the reverse to keep the front side looking the same. So technically what we're going to be doing is purling to make the front side look like the knit stitch. But I have an easier way for you to think of this. Just think of it as the front stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this, and instead of having this is our tail, so we don't want to accidentally grab that. So instead of having this behind us, we're going to pull it up front. Just like that. And just make sure it stays in front. It's really easy to, after the first one, to want it to go to the back. Okay, so we did all those up front. To make it so you can see, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this strand out. And this is what our front looks like. We can go ahead and pull it this way. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the back stitch again, or what we call the knit stitch. I'm keeping the strand behind. Cool thing about this versus regular knitting is, say I accidentally forget one. I go into here and I look and I say, oh no, I forgot a stitch. Now in regular traditional knitting, this is really hard to fix. But with this, we have this cord, which is kind of like a lifeline. So we just pull it out. You can pull out the entire row if you want to. Go back. and you're good to go. So it's a lot easier and more forgiving to fix all your mistakes. So this basically is, let me pull this out so you can see it a little bit better, how you do the knit and the purl. Now you can alternate the knit and purl and have fun making different things like the rib stitch, the garter stitch, all sorts of fun, really cool knit stitches. But I'd recommend to just practice this and you'll be able to be knitting and purling like a pro using your crochet hook.